Hello everybody, this is Jim Isabella along with Mike Gianetti, and we are here at the Mentor AAA Regional Wrestling Tournament. And Mike, even though it's a foregone conclusion, St. Ed's has won, a lot of people getting ready for a trip to Columbus.
Well, you're going to see a lot of good individual matches tonight, and the kids don't care about who won the team title. They want to get there. They've got their tickets to Columbus, but they want that pride of winning that regional title.
Okay, we are about set to go. We'll show you the standings, and St. Ed's obviously has this thing won. And as Mike alluded to, perhaps what we should mention, the semifinals was a lot of heartbreak. A lot of people are not going to Columbus who lost there. They didn't make it back through the consolation. Let's take a look now at the standings. As you can see, St. Ed's way on top. We're just going to show you some of the top teams in the area. The number at the end of your screen is the number of wrestlers who have got shots to go to Columbus. St. Ed's obviously leading there. They have 9, and a lot of other teams, though, will be represented from northeastern Ohio. All right, this is the 98-pound championship matchup. No score. We're picking up action in the second period. Alan Freed, unbeaten for St. Ed's, a freshman, 30-0 against Casey Yackin of Valley Forge, 25-4. And right away, there's our first point of the matchup.
We have an escape by Casey Yackin in this finals bout. We picked it up in the second period. There was no action in the first period. A lot of pushing, a lot of shoving, a lot of tentative wrestling by these championship competitors, and you'll see a lot of that in the finals. There, all these people here to watch it, they just don't want to make that big mistake, Jim.
In the semifinals, you explained that the 4 wrestlers here, the consolation championship matches that we'll only see the championship, of course, but those 4 wrestlers know they're going to Columbus, so the real pressure was this afternoon in those semifinals.
I think that the greater amount of pressure was this afternoon in the semifinals, because only the winners were guaranteed a ticket to Columbus. You'll see the winners on the finals bouts tonight, and you'll see that they'll wrestle a little more tentatively tonight, mainly because they know they're going to Columbus. But on the other hand, at the championship final, there's a lot of pride at stake, and you're seeing the freshman Alan Freed. He takes a chance at looks to be some type of drop or lateral Japanese whizzer, I believe they call that. He missed it. He took a chance at it though, and he did miss it. Casey Yackin jumps on the miss, gets a 2-point takedown.
3-0 with 1 minute and 13 remaining. And Howard Ferguson's young freshman at 30-0 could very well be looking at his first defeat of the season. Of course, we've got a long way to go with 1:13 left here in the second period.
I saw the both wrestle their semifinal bouts today, Jim, and the freshman is awfully impressive. Maybe he doesn't know what pressure is yet. Maybe he's a little young. I'm not quite sure, but nothing phases him. And I don't think that missed takedown's going to phase him either. He's down 2-1.
Turned it right into a 2-point escape, 3-2.
The beautiful switch by Alan Freed. Reverses the position, gets up on top. Now he's going to start working some of those arms. You know, so he rides back in there under the arms, grabbing for those wrists, trying to roll Casey Yackin's wrists in. Freed the freshman, the dauntless, really aggressive freshman, riding for that spiral and a half now. Casey Yackin, the sophomore, trying to work up. We mentioned this before. If you're in the riding position and you can keep your opponent's head, knees, and hips down on the mat, you're going to be doing well, and that's exactly what the freshman Alan Freed is doing at this point.
What a great name, Alan Freed, huh?
Referee is calling for a little bit of action. It looks like a warning for stalling on red, and that's the red anklet, or that is also Casey Yackin. He said he's not doing anything but laying down there. Alan Freed, in the eyes of the referee, Lou Natali, is aggressively working for the fall.
14 seconds remaining here in the second period, 3-2. Casey Yackin leading Alan Freed. Down to 5 seconds remaining.
Good riding by Alan Freed. He's got the shoulders and the head of Casey Yackin pinned down.
That's the end of the second period, and Yackin will come out of it with a 3-2 lead. Casey Yackin on top now as we pick up action in the third period, but he decided to let Freed go, and it's a 3-3 tie right now as we start the third period.
Well, St. Ed's didn't take 9 of their wrestlers down the state tournament by being poor on their feet. I saw them wrestle through this whole tournament, and I want to tell you how impressive they are on their takedowns. They're so comfortable, and I know Alan Freed feels real good about being on his feet. And even though he missed that initial takedown, I think that he's really going to give Yackin some run for his money right here. Yackin shoots in, Freed checks him off. Yackin's not about to give up either, believe me.
3-3, and already you can see the tension. Very few people paying attention to the consolation bout, which incidentally is Ron Hall of Shaker against Sean Nelson of North Royalton. We'll mention the consolation bouts throughout the course of the evening.
Yackin being a little bit more aggressive now, starting to go after Freed, trying for those takedowns. Freed's doing a good job of tying Yackin's hands up, keeping him from coming in on those takedowns.
Do you think that a guy like Freed, with all that, obviously he's got a lot of experience in CYO and other events, do you think a kid like that can walk in and win a state title in the freshman year?
Well, it probably works both ways. Either he isn't experienced enough, or he's just not that experienced to be afraid, and he just doesn't look like he clams up. Beautiful.
He now leads it 5-3, does Freed of St. Ed's. Remember, he trailed 3-0.
As soon as he came behind for that takedown, Jim, he got that spiral right in on Yackin, and he drilled him right down to the mat. Now, you notice Yackin had trouble in the second period coming up off of this, and I think Freed knows it. I think he's just going to keep drilling him, try to get maybe another stalling against Yackin, hopefully some back points. Look at that spiral. Throws that half up in there tight, rides him in there. Oh, he's just drilling Yackin down to the mat.
45 seconds remaining in the third period. Freed, who trailed 3-0 early to Mr. Yackin of Valley Forge, is now leading 5-3. By the way, Mr. Yackin's coach, Patrick Simmery of Valley Forge, and of course Howard Ferguson of St. Ed's is the head coach of the Eagles. How many state titles they won now? 8 straight, as I recall off the top of my head. I've lost count at some point.
I've lost count too.
31 seconds remains in this bout. Freed on top. He leads it 5-3.
Casey Yackin attempts that switch. Freed checked it real well. He's got a good deep waist ride in there. Now he runs that half Nelson up into the spiral, and he's been giving Yackin his woes with that spiral ride. Yackin attempts to sit out. Checked again by Freed.
15 seconds.
What a heady freshman that Alan Freed is, Jim. Really is not flustered at all out there. In control the whole bout. I think it's going to end this way.
4-3. And so, heading to Columbus in probably a seated position, as you had mentioned, it's going to be Alan Freed, the winner, 5-3. He came from behind down 3-0 at one point in the second period, and he is your champion. So Howard Ferguson's guys just keep marching toward Columbus in an awesome fashion. All right.